I'm willing to bet that the behaviors you described in your journal for stage 3 were not your proudest moments. They're most likely things that you wouldn't normally do around people, that their things would likely be described as well outside your character, and they might be described as either harsh avoidant behavior or even aggressive behavior. And fortunately, most of us rarely get to our stage 3, and when we do, we often have a fairly ample toolkit for dealing with things. Even if the best we can do is to storm out of a room or out of a building and take some time by ourselves to calm down before we rejoin that social circle, that's a very functional ability compared to what a lot of the people we may be supporting are doing. And the other thing that makes us different sometimes is that we often have more freedom and more assets or power in our life. Things as simple as being able to get in a car and get away from other people for a short while, or have enough money to go someplace and see a movie or have a drink or go and have a bite to eat at a restaurant. Or we may simply have more independence, more power within our home. For example, a teenager may not be able to just simply go out and spend an hour walking around without it becoming a federal case with their parents. So we need to keep in mind that the people we're supporting often have more frustrations and less ways of managing them. Stage 4 is the de-escalation phase, also known as the cool-down phase, and the name sort of says it all. It's characterized, just like stage 2, by moderate anxiety, and we can't underestimate what this means. A person is actually still in a state where they are highly agitated and very, very volatile, easy to escalate. So I'm going to take the pen for a moment and just draw. Here's stage 3. The person is at the peak of their arousal in stage 3. Now, if we were to look at the way a person's stage 3 actually looks in sort of microscopic detail, we'd actually see that before they calm down, they have all sorts of little hills and valleys. And many of these little valleys are when we are starting to calm down, and the little hills are when we are re-stimulated by minor stimulation or by internal stimulation. So for example, imagine that you have been sent to your room as a young child without your dinner. You're starting to calm down, but then you hear other people clinking dishes. Re-escalates you slightly. Or you smell the food the next time you start to calm down, and that re-escalates you. Or the third time you start to de-escalate, you start thinking about the thing that your mom said to you that made you feel most offended, and it re-escalates you again. But eventually you start to calm down, and you start to go down to level 4. The single most common thing people do is that they come in that room and they give you a little bit more information that you have to process. For example, your mother might come in the room and say to you, "And one more thing." And when that happens, you escalate once again. And this is really what level 4 is all about. It's really about what we don't do. It's about continuing that space and time and destimulating environment that we created in level 3. Because the person is still highly volatile and irrational. The subject may seem calm to others, but they are actually, to those people who know them well, still calming. So before the person actually is calm, they just seem calm. And the person, as we said in the diagram above, may actually cycle between stage 3 and 4 a few times before they're actually going to have a more significant and sustained de-escalation. It can last, for some people, a few seconds, but others hold grudges or have long memories, and it can actually take months. And curiously, there are some people who may calm down and seem to be completely reasonable with everybody until they see the individual that was the source of their frustration or their perceived source of frustration in that moment. And there are times when I worked with people who could seem completely happy, and in the moment that they saw that individual, they re-escalated almost instantaneously. So, what's your stage 4 like? What behaviors do you use when you're calming down but not yet calm? And how long do you typically take? Give a meaningful range. Are you seconds, minutes, hours, weeks, or even months in your calming down?